Israel yesterday, the Israeli military occupied and destroyed the Israa University in Gaza. I mean, this is probably number 10 of all 10 universities that they have destroyed. And is it the assessment of this department or this government that this was a legitimate target?
So I can't speak to this individual action. I don't have independent information to verify that, but I can say that we continue to urge Israel to avoid damage to critical infrastructure. That would, of course, include universities, and to ensure the protection of humanitarian and medical sites. That has been something we have urged from the outset of this conflict. It is very difficult, and again, I'm not talking about this particular site because I don't have information about this particular site, but it is always difficult when you see Hamas use those civilian sites to hide its fighters, to launch attacks on Israel.
But there seems to be no evidence that there were any fighters, in fact, any presence of any kind of military presence in the university itself. I mean, you keep saying that you want Israel not to destroy the infrastructure, yet we have seen almost the total destruction of all infrastructure, including schools, hospitals, roads, cemeteries. They just, they excavated a cemetery, for instance, and took bodies. I mean, this is not exactly tell us in any way that the government of Israel is really paying heed to what you tell them, in any way, by any measure. They're not listening to you.
So we have seen them take some steps to add civilian infrastructure to deconfliction sites. There are other things that we have urged them to do that we want them to do better on. It is an ongoing conversation between our two governments, and something that the Secretary spoke directly with the leadership of Israel in his trip last week. But again, there is also this problem that Hamas does continue to hide in and under civilian infrastructure. So when you see a strike against any one piece of civilian infrastructure, to assess the validity of that strike, you have to know what it is that was there, and we don't always know that. At least I don't know that when I'm speaking from here.
Based on Saeed's question about the demolition of the university, I don't know if you've seen the video. Pretty widely available, but it certainly looks, it looks like a controlled demolition. It looks like what we do here in this country when we're taking down an old hotel or a stadium, and you have nothing to say? You have nothing to say about this? To do that kind of an explosion, you need to be in there, you have to put the explosives down, and it takes a lot of planning and preparation to do. And if there was a threat from this particular facility, they wouldn't have been able to do it.
So I have seen the video. I can tell you that it is something we are raising with the government of Israel, as we often do when we see
raising as
when we see to ask questions and find out what the underlying situation is, as we often do when we see reports of this nature. But I'm not able to characterize the actual facts on the ground before hearing that response.
But you saw the video.
I did see the video. I don't know what was.
It looks like a bridge being imploded.
I don't know what was under that building. I don't know what was inside.
But it doesn't matter what was under the building, because they obviously got in there to put the explosives down to do it in the way that they did.
Again, I'm glad you have factual certainty about it. I just don't.
All I have is what I saw in the video.
I just don't.
And I think you guys saw it too.
We did see it, and I can say that we have raised it with
the
government of Israel.
And it's not troubling to you?
We are always troubled by any degradation of civilian infrastructure in Gaza, but without knowing the actual underlying circumstances, I'm a little hesitant, I think for reasons that should be understandable, to pass definitive judgment on it from this podium.